Hello everyone, good evening. The time right now is 11:39 p.m. This is January the 1st of 2026. All right, 2025 is in the past and now this is 2026. This is the year of great significance, my friends. A year of great significance. Understand this. Very soon, on January 20th, it's going to be President Trump's first anniversary of his second term. First anniversary of the start of the second term in office, January 20th. And then we're going to have the FIFA World Cup 2026, hosted by the United States of America and co hosted by Canada and Mexico. That's going to be this year. This is also the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. This year, 2026, we're going to be celebrating 250th year of our great country. And also, the 2026 midterm election is going to be this year. So, even as of a couple of days ago, we were talking about, hey, we're going to be entering 2026 very soon. We're going to be entering 2026. It's going to be the election year. It's going to be a year of great significance. It's going to be very important. You know, the campaigns are going to be heating up and everything. There'll be intense competition. We kept saying all that. And finally, 2026 is here. It's here. January 1st of 2026. And here I am doing the first live stream of the new year. So my friends, 2026 is finally here, and we have seen the excitement at midnight, people cheering, people ending 2025 and entering 2026. A very important year, undoubtedly. So I want to wish you all a happy new year, a peaceful new year, you know. And that's actually going to be the topic of today's live stream. Will 2026 be the year of peace? I'm asking you that question. Do you think 2026 is going to be the year of peace? My friends, I have a political mind, and you know that. Many of you are watching me. You've been watching my channel for a long time. And you know, if you have been watching my videos and my live streams and listening to my podcast episodes, you know this very, very well that I have a political mind and I tend to do calculations in terms of politics. Not just domestic, but international. Now, if you think about it, you will realize that more than 1 year has passed since the 2024 presidential election. The 2024 presidential election, one of the most important elections of our lifetime. It was in November of 2024. And here we are in January of 2026. My friends, when we started the year 2025, there was a lot of excitement about the new presidential term. People were so emotional and happy because they were witnessing the return of Donald J. Trump in the White House. When 2025 started, people were so thrilled, especially after 4 years of horrible Biden administration, 4 years of absolute torture with the inflation, the rise in gas price, and the supply chain disruptions and chaos at the global level. 4 years of absolute nightmare with Joe Biden in office. And finally, when 2025 started, people were happy because they knew that true leadership, they would be seeing true leadership in the White House again, with President Trump returning to the White House. So that was the start of 2025. And January 20th of 2025, President Trump became the 47th president. We are still a few weeks away from the official first anniversary of the start of President Trump's second term in office. And I think one of the biggest words of the second Trump administration so far has been peace. We all want peace, my friends. Peace. Of course, there are other key words such as energy, right? Energy, gas price, coal, oil, gas, right? Energy. And then tariff, and then trade, and then immigration enforcement, deportation. That's also another key word of 2025, going into 2026. But peace, that's what we're going to talk about. Peace has been a key word of the Trump administration, and it still is. The president has been called the peacemaker. A lot of people, a lot of prominent people, a lot of brilliant minds have acknowledged the fact that President Trump is the peacemaker. He views himself as the peacemaker. Other people view him as the peacemaker. And people have said it out loud, that he's truly a peacemaker. And President Trump, every day, he has been working hard. He has been clearly trying to prove himself to be a very effective peacemaker. Now, people have differences of opinions. I understand that. As you're watching this live stream, not everyone's going to agree with me. Not everyone's going to say, Tausif, whatever you're saying is absolutely correct. We agree with you 100%. No, I don't expect you all to say that. Although some of you will. I know that. I know that for a fact. Some of you will. But then others may, just because, maybe you're just anti-MAGA. Maybe you don't like the message that's on my hat, Make America Great Again. Maybe you don't like the Trump administration. Maybe you don't like Donald Trump's policies. Then you're not going to agree with me. That's all right. I get it. There are certain minds that I'm not going to be able to change. So be it. I'm not going to try. But I do know there are others who have been very, very receptive to my message. People who have been watching my live streams and listening to my podcast episodes, and they've said, Tausif, when we started listening to you, we did not agree with you on everything, but the more we listened, the more things started to make sense. And so now we find ourselves more in agreement with you than before. So yes, I do know that I have been able to change hearts and minds. I have been able to convince a lot of people that yes, the America First pathway is the right pathway. Putting America first, putting Americans first, ensuring energy independence, energy dominance, securing the border, bringing back American manufacturing, cutting taxes, creating opportunities for the hardworking people of this country, making America strong again, strengthening our military, being dominant on the global stage. America first. A lot of people, you now realize, maybe at first you didn't agree with what I said. Maybe at first you didn't agree with the things that President Trump said. But now you do, because now you've seen that America First works. Now you've seen that the MAGA pathway is the right pathway. It's about limiting the size of the government, cutting taxes, more freedom, greater independence. That's what we want. So my friends, I appreciate you all continuing to listen to me, but then again, I understand that people will still have differences of opinions, and I don't expect you all to agree with me. Okay, I get it. If you ask the political left, they are going to say different things. They may not agree with the characterization. When I say President Trump is the peacemaker, others will say, Tassif, absolutely, he is the peacemaker. He deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, which he actually might get. Which he might get. Just wait and see. So in my humble opinion, my friends, President Trump, along with a lot of the Republican leaders in Washington, they are really trying to achieve peace. Now, when you inherit a world that is full of problems, when you inherit a world that is experiencing unrest, conflicts, clashes, and turmoil, there's no way for you to flip a switch. You can't just flip a switch and end all the conflicts and all the wars and establish peace throughout the world. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with the flip of a switch. No. There's no such switch that you can just turn on and off and say, okay, now we have world peace. We've ended all conflicts. It doesn't work that way. There's no switch. Resolving conflicts takes time. Addressing crises requires patience. You got to be patient. Things take time. You have to be patient. There cannot be any sudden rush to judgment. There has to be compromises, and that is a key point that I'm going to highlight. When there are differences of opinions, when there are disagreements, let's say between two countries, country A, country B, fighting because there's something that they don't agree on, and the fight goes on and lives are lost and damage occurs on both sides of the border, when that happens, in order to achieve peace, there has to be compromise. Both sides will have to come to the table and say, okay, I'm willing to give up this. You're willing to give up that. Okay, let's find common ground. Both sides will have to make certain adjustments, some sacrifices, right? Country A gives some things up. Country B gives some things up. That's how it works. I mean, there's a process. It has to be brokered. I mean, fairness has to be ensured. And so, my friends, it's not easy. Ending conflicts, international conflicts, especially when militaries are involved and they are fighting, it's not easy. And what President Trump has been trying to do, it's extremely difficult task. Extremely difficult. And I hope you understand that, my friends. By the way, if you're watching this, listen, I have a lot more to say. I'm just getting started, so stay here with me. We're going to be here a while. And I want to make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you can stay connected to my channel, because I've been live streaming for almost 2 years now. All right. And in addition to publishing podcast episodes and shorts videos. So subscribe, stay connected, doesn't cost you anything. It just makes my videos more visible to you next time I'm on doing a live stream. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and support this channel by liking this video. If you like this video, if you don't have to. All right. I mean, it's up to you. You are free to do what you want. My friends, President Trump has been trying to achieve peace. He has been trying to solve conflicts, address problems, and make the world a more peaceful place. But the left, the political left, the Democrats, if you talk to them, they have been very active in trying to push a message that, oh, President Trump has failed. Oh, he has failed. You know what the left tries to do? The left tries to belittle President Trump's efforts. Whatever he does, big things, big achievements, the left will say, oh, that's nothing. That's like small stuff. No. The left The left tries to show that President Trump has not done enough. But the truth is, he has done a lot, he's doing more. The Democrats, they try to push a message that the president has not helped achieve peace. But we all know that what the left is doing, what the Democrats are doing, is just pushing left-wing talking points. And you know what? I think we all know that the left is very loud. That's one thing about the political left. That's one thing about the Democrats. They are very, very loud. They know how to amplify their voices. They know how to be loud, how to scream, how to shout, how to get their message out far and wide. All their left-wing propaganda, all their left-wing talking points, putting them on loudspeakers, putting them all over the internet, and spreading their talking points far and wide. The left is desperate. We know that. The left is focused on spreading a narrative that they have crafted, to present President Trump's administration as a failure. Okay, that's all that they're trying to do. And you know why they're trying to do that? The left, the Democrats, they are trying to recapture the congressional majority. They want to recapture the majority in the House and the majority in the Senate. That's why they've got their talking points on loudspeakers, spreading far and wide on social media. And of course, the mainstream media, many elements in the mainstream media, they support the left. We know that. I mean, mainstream media, there are some real bias elements in mainstream media. I'm not going to mention names here, but you know who they are. Mainstream media, various elements, they favor the Democrats. So President Trump, the more that President Trump tries to spread peace across the world, the more the political left will say that President Trump has failed. So there's one other thing you have to understand. Peace cannot be achieved in a uniform manner. Every conflict is different. Every war, every conflict, very different. The parties involved in an international conflict, they have different motives, right? I mean, look at the conflict between India and Pakistan. They have reasons why they are against each other, why they have differences of opinions. There are territorial issues, there are border issues involved, there are emotional, sentimental issues involved in the conflict between India and Pakistan. It's been going on for a long time. And that conflict is not the same as the conflict between Cambodia and Thailand. And it is not the same as the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Each conflict, each dispute, each war is different. The history is different. The people involved are different. The issues are different. One might be about land and territory. The other conflict may be just about, revenge, for something that happened in the past. Another conflict may be about economic power. Another war may be about religious differences or ethnic disputes, or it's all different. It's all different. So there is no one-size-fits-all solution for achieving peace. There is no one-size-fits-all solution that you're gonna, okay, here's the magical solution that we have come up with, and we believe that this is going to solve all the problems in the world. All the disputes will be settled, all the conflicts will end, all the wars will be over. So we're gonna just take this magical solution, apply this solution to wherever a war is happening, and we're going to have world peace. It doesn't work like that, my friends. It does not. Every solution has to be crafted differently because the issues are different, the parties are different. So it's a very difficult task. And that's why one has to allow the Trump administration to get more time if needed. We, as the American people, we have to give the Trump administration more time to do what President Trump said that he would do, that is, help achieve peace, be the peacemaker. I mean, we have seen progress in the Middle East. We have seen great progress in the Middle East. Now, are all the problems in the Middle East over? No. There's a lot of work left to be done. There are still disputes. There are still ongoing issues. There are still problems that have not been solved. There are still things that need to be settled. So it's an ongoing process. But if you want to be truthful, you are going to have to admit that President Trump and his administration has helped make tremendous progress in achieving peace in the Middle East. So I'm proud of the work that the Trump administration has done so far. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, go back and watch the news, watch the videos, watch the speeches from President Trump's visit to Egypt last year. 2025, obviously, we're in 2026 now. When he visited Egypt, when he brought all the major world leaders together, European leaders, Middle Eastern leaders, brought them together. There were folks from Asia. They were all there under one roof in Egypt. Remember that? I mean, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, it was such a remarkable event when President Trump went to Egypt. He got a grand welcome, undoubtedly. You've seen that. And so many world leaders, they were there under one roof, all there to help achieve peace in the Middle East. So tremendous progress has been made. And also, regarding India and Pakistan, we have seen that tremendous success has been made in ending the escalation of tension, in preventing further escalation of tension between India and Pakistan. And we have seen ceasefire between Cambodia and Thailand, then, between Kosovo and Serbia, then Congo and Rwanda, Armenia and Azerbaijan. Tremendous progress being made with regard to all these disputes that these countries had. So the world is better off. We the American people, and we human beings living on planet Earth are better off today because of President Trump's leadership and what he has done to end so many conflicts and make progress towards peace. So great things have happened, but then again, no one can predict the future. Now, if there's a new war tomorrow, don't blame President Trump, okay? Because we don't control everything that happens around the world. We don't. But as the global leader, if we are the global leader as the United States, and if we have a bold president in the White House like we do now, then America can play a significant role in trying to prevent the onset of wars. And if wars do start, we can try to settle the disputes and restore peace. But we do not control everything that happens around the world as things happen. So if a war starts tomorrow or day after or whenever between, whatever countries on whatever continents, wherever that may be, don't blame Trump, okay? Because he has already been doing a lot, and he continues to do a lot. No one can predict the future, but when a president plays a key leadership role in trying to achieve peace, you have to give him credit for that. Okay? I mean, just look at between Cambodia and Thailand. We thought that there's going to be peace, and then there was escalating tension, and then again progress was made, and there's a ceasefire. So it has not been an easy path. It's not a simple pathway. Sometimes it has to be a little bit of a back and forth. I mean, it's tough work. And that's why we have to be grateful when the White House plays a tremendous role in making the world a better place, which the Trump administration has been doing. But you know what? The Democrats, once again, they are not ready to give President Trump credit for the great things he has done. There's one big unresolved issue, obviously, the Ukraine-Russia war, which I have talked about on this channel quite a bit. I don't know how many hours I spent between my writings, my letters to editors, and between my blog posts and my podcast episodes and my live streams. I have talked about the Ukraine-Russia war many times. I've written, I've talked about it. And so as we enter the new year, I'm thinking politically, I'm thinking geopolitics, I'm thinking global affairs, and I'm thinking about the Ukraine-Russia war. And I hope that we, the United States of America, I hope that we're going to be successful in resolving this conflict. By the way, my friends, I see a lot of people here today, so if you are here for the first time, please make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button. By the way, I'm not going anywhere. Sometimes as soon as I start saying, oh, please subscribe, people think I'm wrapping up the live stream. No, I'm not. I have a lot more to talk about. So do not go anywhere. Stay here, my friends. But I want to make sure that I remind you all, because sometimes it's helpful. People forget, People forget. So I have to remind everyone, hey, subscribe, support this channel. People ask me, hey, Tausif, how can we support your channel? I say, you know what? You don't have to spend a single penny. All you have to do is subscribe, hit the like button, and share the video if you want to take it a step further, okay? Someone saying Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you all. Happy New Year. By the way, introduce yourself in the live chat, especially if you are here for the first time. Make sure you introduce yourself, and so that we can get to know each other. And I have also posted my website address in the live chat window. It's pinned to the top of the chat screen, tausifanam.net. If you want to read my biography, if you want to email me, send me questions, or express your opinions outside of this live chat, you can email me at tausif@tausifanam.net. All right, let me continue. My friends, 2026, I think this will be the year of peace, all right? The year of peace could mean the year of desperately trying to achieve peace. It could mean a renewed focus, a year of renewed focus on the importance of achieving peace. It could mean a year of emphasizing the need for peace. It could mean greater cultural awareness regarding peace. It could mean greater media attention on peace. It could mean writing more op-eds and letters to editors and columns about peace. It could mean using advanced technology to secure peace. Whatever it may be, I think peace is going to be the focus in 2026. There will be greater hunger for peace in the months ahead. And I believe that the need for peace is what should be driving all the actions by policymakers around the world. Around the world, I said around the world, not just in the US, I think globally. All the different governments, all the different policy-making bodies, all the different policy-making entities, legislative bodies, they should all be all over the world focusing on humanity. They should all be pursuing peace, my friends. Now, I will say one thing. There are some critics. Now, let's address the critics here. There are some critics who have recently talked about some bold and aggressive actions that the Trump administration took, especially with regard to Venezuela. Okay, people have often raised the question like about striking the drug boats. Oh, why did America strike the boats? Why did America strike the boats? Well, come on, those were drug boats. What is the Trump administration supposed to do? It's about safety. If there are cartels, drug traffickers trying to use boats to transport harmful substances, dangerous drugs, what is the Trump administration going to do? Just sit and watch and not take any action? Listen, you got to understand one thing. 2024, November, remember? 2024 November, there was an election, remember that? Remember the presidential election in the United States? Yeah, remember? There was an election, people went and voted. Who did the people vote for? Who got the Electoral College victory? Donald Trump, right? Who got the popular vote victory? Was it Kamala Harris? Oh, no. It was Trump, right? He got the Electoral College victory. He got the popular vote victory. So he is doing exactly what he said he would do. He's doing exactly what the people elected him to do. President Trump made it very clear that he's going to secure the border. Now, the border doesn't mean just the southern border. The border means northern border, southern border, maritime border, everything. He also made it a priority. He said America first, Americans first, meaning the safety of Americans first. And so if there are drug cartels trying to use vessels, boats, to transport dangerous substances, what is the Trump administration going to do? He's going to take action. And that's what he did. So I appreciate President Trump's leadership. I appreciate our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Absolutely. By the way, you got to say, thank you, Pete Hegseth. I know we thank President Trump a lot, but you got to keep in mind that President Trump has a team. He is the main leader. It's his administration, but he has a wonderful cabinet. He has his team members, cabinet secretaries with unique expertise and experience and knowledge and skills who are in charge of the different departments. So Pete Hegseth has played a tremendous role in doing some of these operations to send a message to the cartels that, hey, we're not going to tolerate this. So that's why the action of striking, U.S. military striking those boats, it was the right decision. And so going back to November 2024, President Trump, he was elected, and he was elected to do just that. Keep America safe, make America strong, make America healthy again, make America wealthy again, make America great again, put Americans first. So those who bring up the issue of the action surrounding Venezuela, some people say, oh, a president who is trying to achieve peace cannot take aggressive military action in the Caribbean region. Those critics, what they do is they present the US military action in the Caribbean region as something that goes against the idea of peace. But that is not true. Because achieving peace requires bold action. Achieving peace requires the absence of fear. You cannot be afraid. You have to be bold. You have to do the right things at the right time and swiftly. And at times you have to be patient. So you do what is necessary to help achieve peace. No one-size-fits-all solution. So if there's a force out there trying to disrupt peace and spread chaos, like Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, what is Maduro trying to do? What has he been trying to do all along? He has been trying to spread chaos, suppress people's freedom, the freedom of the people in his country. His regime violated human rights. And this guy, Nicolas Maduro, he has been trying to hurt our country, the United States of America. And so we cannot allow that to happen. And so Maduro has to be stopped. That requires bold action. And you have to understand that achieving peace requires decisive action to stop any entity or any person who is trying to spread chaos. And so Maduro's regime must be dealt with very strongly, and that's what President Trump is doing. Maduro in Venezuela, he's finally realizing that he's in a lot of trouble. There's real leadership in the White House. And so Maduro is afraid. I've talked about this before. I think the guy is basically shaking in fear. He's not going to say that. But Maduro is shaking in fear. And so I appreciate President Trump's actions in the Caribbean region, making sure that the Maduro regime and pretty much the rest of the world can see how strong the United States is, how strong our military is, how capable we are, the strong resources that we have, the personnel that we have, the advanced technology, everything, the best and the brightest in our military. My friends, there's, however, a big problem that continues and it threatens world peace. That's the Ukraine-Russia war, which I've talked about before. Hold on a second. A lot of you may not know this, so I'm going to share this with you. Give me a second here. I actually wrote a letter to the editor of New York Post. It was published, in which I clearly stated, I wrote that in spite of many efforts to find a peaceful resolution, this brutal war has been going on for years and continues to claim many lives. And I further wrote in that letter to the editor of New York Post, I wrote, Vladimir Putin continues to wage war as Russia launches new attacks on Ukraine, disregarding efforts aimed at achieving peace in the region. And I further wrote this next part, my friends. You got to listen to me very carefully. This next part is very important. I wrote in my letter to the editor, I wrote, I'm afraid this war may spark a wider regional conflict. The longer it goes on, the greater the risk to human civilization. That's the thing you got to focus on. If you think, oh, it's a war between Ukraine and Russia, and the war is just going to be limited between Ukraine and Russia, you are wrong. This war, the longer it goes on, the greater the risk that this may spark a wider regional conflict. Do you understand what's going to happen if that really takes place? Stephen saying Putin cannot be trusted. Stephen, you're absolutely correct, Stephen. Vladimir Putin cannot be trusted. He cannot be trusted. Every time we feel that, oh, the talks are going great, there's going to be peace, there's going to be a peace deal, Putin says something, does something, which we're just, okay, no peace deal. Start the process again. So Putin cannot be trusted. Stephen, you're absolutely correct. By the way, if others, you have thoughts on this issue, please write your comments in the live chat window. Share your viewpoints. There are a lot of you here watching this. Share your viewpoints, my friends. Ask me questions. I cannot promise I'll be able to answer all of your questions. I'll try my best. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for supporting this channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. So, my friends, last month, December 2025, I did a live stream on YouTube, and the title was World War III, Likely or Unlikely? What would you say? What would you say? Likely or unlikely? World War III. My friends, I try to be very optimistic. I try to be optimistic regarding the possibility of global peace. But there's always that fear that the Ukraine-Russia war may become a wider regional conflict, which may then turn into a world war. We don't want that to happen. That is the worst case scenario. That is going to be an absolute nightmare. We do not want that to happen, but there's that possibility because, as Stephen said, Putin cannot be trusted. Kay Cooper, thank you for supporting the channel. Frank, thank you for supporting the channel. And there are others. By the way, who here is new? Salerno, good to see you. Anyone else here? You know, I'm really hoping that logic and reason will prevail in the new year, and the war will come to an end. And that is also a sentence that I wrote in that letter to the editor. I'm hoping logic and reason will prevail in the new year and the war will come to an end. But it's been difficult. This particular issue has been very difficult just because I believe on the Russian side, you got Putin, who honestly, I don't think he has the willingness to make a peace deal. I mean, he just cannot be trusted. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, in order to have peace, there has to be willingness. Only if people are willing, only when both sides are willing, then there can be discussion, there can be compromise, there can be adjustments and whatever. But the willingness has to be there. Is Putin willing to end this war? Do you think so? I have questions. I don't know. But when I say that this may spark a wider regional conflict, some of you may be saying, well, what makes you say that, Tassif? It's between Ukraine and Russia. Well, why do you talk about the possibility that this may spark a wider regional conflict? Well, the reason I say that is because Russia has violated NATO airspace. And how many times have I talked about this on this channel? I mean, you go look at Poland. You go look at some of the other countries. NATO countries and Russia, Russian jets, Russian drones have violated the airspace of NATO countries. And it happened more than once. It happened multiple times. That's something you're going to have to carefully observe and keep track of. When you see those news, those are breaking news. I'm always keeping track of the news because this is my focus. Domestic and international social and political issues. And every time I see that Russian jet has entered NATO airspace, or Polish airspace, or Russian drone has breached European airspace, I see those news and it just makes me so worried. If Putin keeps doing this, how long before the conflict goes beyond Ukraine and Russia and Europe gets involved? My friends, share with me your thoughts. And I don't know, so many people are watching this. There may be some, international relations experts watching this, perhaps. Perhaps you are an expert on, Russian politics or international security, or you are an expert on Ukraine and military and defense, whatever. I want to hear your thoughts. Introduce yourself. By the way, you let me know one thing in the live chat. One thing you let me know. If you think that the leadership in the White House, the Trump administration, is doing a great job, you let me know. You can just write Trump doing great, or Trump is awesome, or thanks President Trump, or just whatever. Just write in the live chat if you believe that the Trump administration has been doing a great job, especially in international relations. Gulf of America. Paul is writing Gulf of America. Oh, I love that. That's a good reminder. We now have a Gulf of America, my friends. All right. I would request you to please subscribe if you have not done so yet. Please do that, okay? We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. We're now at 16,200 and some. So if you really want to help this channel, make sure you're subscribing so we can hit the next threshold. I would appreciate that. And yeah, so going back to the question of, will 2026 be the year of peace? I hope so. I hope so. I hope so, my friends. We have to have hope, right? Give me a second. I hope so, but there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. 2026 can be the year of peace or not. So, I really want to hear your thoughts. So you can share with me your comments. By the way, I'm going to be addressing your questions and comments now. This is how my live streams are for those who are here for the first time. I share the thoughts that I have, and then I interact with those who are participating in the live chat. So if you have questions, you can let me know. Thoughts, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, whatever the case may be. I've got my laptop right here. I'm looking at the screen, and I'm going to read your comments and try to respond. Okay. Give me a second right here. Okay. Kay Cooper says Gulf of America. Kay Cooper, from the Lone Star State, the great state of Texas. Thank you, Kay, for writing that. Gulf of America, absolutely. Oh, okay. Let's see. So many comments. I'm going to have to scroll back. Let's see. Hold on a second here. Okay, someone's saying Gulf of Mexico. That name has been changed. The Gulf of Mexico name does not exist. It's old. The Gulf has been properly renamed. It's now the Gulf of America. So Gulf of Mexico, if you're still calling it the Gulf of Mexico, that's wrong. You need to change that. Okay, someone's writing America first always, absolutely. And who's that? John? Yes, America first, absolutely. Paul is saying America first. Thanks, Paul. Wow, lots of comments coming in. As soon as I try to read a comment, it just goes away because new comments are coming in. Oh, someone's accusing me of ignoring. Ignore what? What did I ignore? I didn't ignore anything. I'm trying to read all the comments, actually. See, I read your question, right? Paul is saying 77 million people voted for Trump. Yeah, this is a big victory. Massive victory. There's someone's saying you only read positive comments about Trump. I get a lot of positive comments about Trump. I get a lot of positive comments. And the ones who write the negative comments, you know what they do? They just, the same person or the same group of people, they just write the negative comments over and over again. They just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So, I mean, I've seen that happen. But, you know, listen, you're going to talk about positive and negative comments. Well, the real measure of support is the election results. Okay. And Donald Trump got the electoral victory, electoral college victory, and the popular vote victory. So you can write whatever negative comments you want in the live chat about Trump. That's not going to change the election results. So, you know, overwhelmingly, President Trump had a great victory. And for a while, the Democrats, you know what they used to say? They used to say, oh, we should get rid of the Electoral College. We should just have popular vote, because they thought that they are always going to dominate the popular vote. So they wanted to abolish the Electoral College. And now, do you hear the Democrats say that anymore? They don't, because they not only lost the Electoral College votes, they also lost the popular votes, the Democrats. And now that Trump had the popular vote victory, now the Democrats, they don't talk about getting rid of the Electoral College. See how they change overnight. Because for a long time the Democrats thought that, you know, they're going to count on New York and New Jersey and, you know, whatever, Connecticut, you know, Maryland and California and, you know, Washington State. You know, these states are just going to overwhelmingly vote for the Democrats, and they're going to have that popular vote victory, you know, every presidential cycle. No, that's not going to happen, because Trump changed it. You know, if people read history now, they're going to know that President Trump had the Electoral College and the popular vote victory in 2024. So now the Democrats are like, there's pin drop silence. No one's talking about getting rid of Electoral College anymore. Steve says, Trump's the man. Absolutely. Jamie is saying, how about all the winning in 2025? Yeah. We have been winning. Our policies have been winning. Yeah, Trump has been winning. You know, gas prices going down, inflation is going down, consumer confidence is up, tax cuts were achieved, red tape is being cut. So, you know, lots of victory in 2025 for the Trump administration and the Republicans in Washington. It's Trump and the congressional Republicans. The one big beautiful bill, remember that. Don't forget. By the way, let me ask you, who supports the one big beautiful bill? Who loves the one big beautiful bill? If you do, write that in the live chat. Show your support for the one big beautiful bill. Go ahead. Okay, David says, I love the one big beautiful bill. Let's see. John says, I support one big beautiful bill. Mike says, I do. I love MAGA. Steven saying, I do. Well, that's wonderful. Paul says, big beautiful MAGA bill. Steve says, I think it's a step in the right direction. Is that what you said, Steve? Step in the right direction? Kay Cooper says, I love the one big beautiful bill. Yeah, Steve says, I think it's a step in the right direction. Yep. Salerno says, love the big, beautiful bill. Frank says Trump is winning. Absolutely, Frank. Frank from Florida, expressing support for Donald Trump. Okay, questions. Answer the question, will 2026 be the year of peace? What do you think? You know, I'm seeing some folks who clearly don't support my viewpoints. That's all right. That's all right. Um, that's all right. That's what's great about this country, that you can, even if you don't agree with someone, you can express your own opinion. That's fine. This is why we have freedom of speech in this country. And I actually recently wrote a blog post. Let's see if I can get you the link for that. It's called The New Year and the Power of Pen and Paper. I'm going to see if I can post that. Go ahead, click on that link. I don't know if you can click on that link. You should be able to. It's a blog post, and the title is The New Year and the Power of Pen and Paper. And I'm going to read to you an excerpt from that blog post. I wrote, in this new year, I hope to be able to write more about the world we live in, our fortunes, our challenges, how we can try to improve the lives of the people around us, and how we can create more opportunities for the creative minds to flourish. So, I am somebody who believes in freedom of speech. And, this is what's great about the United States. There are other countries around the world where freedom of speech is limited, where freedom of speech is suppressed, like Venezuela, for example. Do you think that in Venezuela people can freely express their opinions? Do you think that the people of Venezuela can speak loudly and criticize the Maduro regime? No. No. So you got to understand, in the United States, we are so blessed that we have freedom of speech, freedom of religion. We have these freedoms, and we have to exercise these freedoms. So I believe in the power of pen and paper. Yes, I do live streams, I do podcasts, but basically I'm a writer. I write. That is my original strength, that I write. And in this new year, I'm hoping that I'm going to be doing a lot more writing. A lot more writing. That is my hope, and then, whatever God decides, in God's will. If God gives me the strength and the energy and the continued determination to write, I will do so. Um, and so the reason why I'm talking about this is because, going back to freedom of speech, I kept the live chat open for everyone. I kept the live chat open. It's not subscriber only. So anyone watching this video can participate in the live chat, be a part of this discussion. And you can criticize me. You can express your support for my viewpoints, whatever, You can ask me questions. But all I ask for is that we should be nice to each other as human beings. As human beings, if nothing else, forget forget color or creed, forget ethnicity, race, religion, and political ideology, and who you voted for, who I voted for, keeping the political labels and everything aside. We have something in common. We are all human beings of flesh and blood. Okay? So, simply based on that, I think we should be able to treat each other with respect. Simply just forget everything else. Religion, color of the skin, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever. Simply based on the fact that you are a human being, and I'm a human being, created by the same creator. Okay? We should treat each other with respect. And that is a message that I'm going to be repeating over and over again, maybe for as long as I need to, maybe forever, okay? For as long as I'm able to. I'm going to keep repeating that message because it needs to be heard. If I can change one mind out there, and that I will consider success. So as you are opposing my viewpoints, keep in mind that the comments you write would be a reflection of who you are. Okay? So if you write, a very, very harsh comment and some very, very harsh language with name calling and insults in there, it's not going to really affect me. Because I'm going to read that comment and then go to the next one, right? Or maybe I won't even read it. I'll just skip it because there are so many comments coming in. But the fact that you write a comment that is harsh, like something that's like a personal insult or attack or whatever, you write that. It's a reflection of your personality. And you want to be a nice person. You want to be recognized as a good human being. You don't have to agree with me. You can disagree with me all day. But if you do so in a proper manner, if you express your viewpoint, if you express your disagreement with my viewpoints in a nice manner, you can say, Tausif, I've listened to you. You've been talking for a while. I don't agree with you because of the following reasons. And then you can list the reasons, 1, 2, 3, ABC, whatever. That's the proper way to do that. Because then you are really going to be heard. But if you just include a bunch of hateful comments like, Tausif, you are a, and then bleep, 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 censored, it doesn't help. It does not add anything constructive to the conversation. It does not add anything to the dialogue. So, hold on a second. Gotta connect the charger here with my laptop. So, yeah, just just be nice to people. And it's a lesson for um, everyday life, not just for this particular live stream. It's something that you need to um, you need to be aware of, and it's going to give you peace of mind. The biggest difference is going to be you are going to feel better as a human being when you say, okay, I'm going to disagree with people, but I'm going to do it nicely in a respectful manner. It's going to make you feel very light. It's going to make you feel happy and content with your life. So I hope that makes sense. And, the rest would be, your decision. Let's see. Steve says, thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thanks so much. Someone's asking me, do you think Vivek has a chance of winning? Okay, I have not yet talked about the Ohio gubernatorial race. Are you from Ohio, the person who asked me that question? I think it's, what's your name? Real? Is it Real? All right. Okay. Oh, you're Ohio native. Okay. So that's a very, very important gubernatorial race in Ohio. Vivek Ramaswamy, he's running. I have not studied that race thoroughly. I have not looked at the poll numbers. I have not studied like the current state of affairs in Ohio, what the campaigns are doing. Maybe it's something I'm going to talk about very soon. So, sorry, I'm not able to answer that question because I'd like to give you, I mean, I can look up the poll numbers right now and tell you what it looks like, but that's really, I mean, that's information you can search on the internet yourself. So it's, I mean, if you want me to add something, something constructive to the discussion, like, okay, what do I think about the Ohio governor's race? I'm gonna have to do that on a different live stream. Yeah, but thank you for that question. I have discussed a few different races that are coming up in 2026 on this channel. I've talked about the U.S. Senate race in Michigan. I know that. I've talked about the Georgia Senate race and how important it is to defeat Democrat Jon Ossoff in 2026. I've talked about, let's see, a few other races. I know I discussed North Carolina, I feel. How long ago was that? Give me a second here. Just 1 second. I've talked about the California governor's race. I've talked about the Nevada governor's race. I've talked about the Arizona governor's race. I've talked about the Maine, in the state of Maine, the Senate race, which is like a toss-up. I've talked about a key race in Kentucky, the Senate race in Kentucky that's coming up. I've talked about the New York's gubernatorial race. I mean, I've pretty much focused on the fact that Ellie Stefanik announced her exit from the race, but I didn't do a follow-up on what the race is going to be like now that Ellie Stefanik is out. I've talked, like around 2 weeks ago, the Texas Senate race, Jasmine Crockett running as the Democrat candidate, and there's probably another guy. What's his name? James something. Young guy. Colin Allred dropped out from Texas Senate race. So I've talked about that. And then, going forward, I will hopefully discuss Ohio also. And so yeah, I have not talked about the Ohio race. There are other races that I have to talk about that I have not. Wisconsin, like right here in Wisconsin, there's going to be a governor's race, which I have not discussed yet. I had on my podcast for one of the episodes not too long ago. I think it was a few months ago, maybe October. I had a guest who is running for the office of the lieutenant governor of Wisconsin. So I've talked about the lieutenant governor's race, although it was a while back, but I have not talked about the governor's race, which I will. There's going to be a lot to discuss about Wisconsin going forward, which I will. And that's why I say 2026 is going to be a very important year. There are so many topics to cover, and that's more reason why you need to subscribe right now and stay connected with me. Someone's writing NATO. Yeah, NATO. We support NATO, absolutely. NATO is stronger than ever before because of Donald Trump's leadership. Kay Cooper says, Texas is a red state. It is. It is, Kay. Absolutely. All right, my friends. Any more questions for me? Have you subscribed yet? Or no? Stephen saying Illinois needs a new governor. Stephen, I agree with you. J.B. Pritzker running for re-election. Okay. I just, what am I going to say? One of the worst governors in America, J.B. Pritzker in Illinois, running for re-election. All right. But that's a tough state for the Republicans. Illinois. What can I say? I'm closer to northern Illinois, obviously. Stephen, you're in southern Illinois. But yeah, I mean, southern Illinois is a lot more Republican. Chicago is like Chicago and a few other places. Heavy Democrat presence. All right. All right. Okay. Thank you so very much, my friends, for tuning in for this live stream. I appreciate you all. If you have not yet subscribed, do so. If you have more questions to ask me, I'll stay. I don't have to go anywhere. I'll stay. If you have meaningful questions. All right. Okay. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate you being here, my friends. Hopefully, you all have a wonderful start of this new year, 2026. Can you believe that? It's 2026 already. It's amazing, right? How time flies. How time flies. I remember when we were entering the new millennium, when we were going from 1999 to 2000. I mean, that was such an exciting thing, right? Oh, we're entering the new millennium, going from 1999 to 2000. And here we are, 2026. Um, more than 2 decades and a half since the start of the new millennium. Unbelievable how time flies. All right. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you all enjoy the start of this beautiful new year, which is going to be a very significant year. And God bless you all. God bless you all. God bless President Donald J. Trump. God bless the Trump administration. God bless the Republicans in Washington. God bless the United States of America. God bless our U.S. allies. And God bless freedom-loving people all over the world. Thank you, my friends. Please subscribe, stay connected, and I will be back again very soon with more videos and more live stream. Thank you, my friends. Have a wonderful night.